Good evening.
Erev Tov, Rabbi. Right? It's amazing when Chodesh Av, it's a Hazman Boreach.
Yeah. אבל כל ההיסטוריה היהודית, חודש אב, זה לא חודש כל כך טוב. מלחמת העולם הראשונה, the Jews who were expelled from Spain was חודש אב. זה לא, אין דבר כזה, it's an unlucky month. הכוונה, אנחנו לא זוכרים את מה שהיה, אנחנו הולכים במעגל. כל שנה כשמגיעים לזמן של פורים, מן השמיים אשר נותן לנו הזדמנות, פסח, הכל זה, בחודש אב, זה לא, זה זמן to reflect. ואין לנו, תראה, אין לנו את ה-maturity to take a real lesson into history. בוא נראה, תסתכל בשולחן ערוך.
Rabbi Prak, can you just fix the camera, please?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
See, I'm sitting in the kitchen simply because the air conditioning. Look a second. Look in סימן תקנ"ן, ואז נלך לתקנ"א, 550. תקנ"ן בשולחן ערוך. Shulchan Aruch says in Siman Tav Kuf Nun, הכל חייבים להתענות 4 צומות הללו, ואסור לפרוץ גדר. מי הוא? תזכור איזה 4? תשעה באב, 17 בתמוז, צום גדליה זה ג' תשרי, ב10 בטבת. So again, are we fasting just to remember the past? No. אנחנו צריכים לזכור מה היה, מדוע זה היה, ומה זה מחייב אותנו. אומר הרמה, עוברות ומניקות, שמצטערות הרבה, אין להתענות. עכשיו תסתכל בסעיף ב', סימן.
Wait, can you finish that Ramah? Because I was reading it, it says, and then it goes there, but dafka beginning about אבל בט' באב מחויבות להשלים.
אני אסביר לך מה פירוש המשפט מחויבות להשלים.
Is that to finish that fast or that?
No.
No, it means to make up for it.
When they have to replace, זאת אומרת, בתשעה באב you're allowed to eat. If you are pregnant, if you are this. אבל חייבת להשלים הכוונה, a year from now, 2 years from now, you owe, so to say, a day that you תקל. The Gemara says that if you have a real bad dream, not because you're watching movies or not because you are a nervous person, you have to fast that day. It's so serious that if you had a dream Friday night, you'll have to fast even Shabbat. Believe it or not, but the Gemara says you have to fast a weekday as a kapara and the fact that you fasted on Shabbat. זה נקרא להשלים תעניתו, כמו תשלומים בתפילה, yes?
Yeah, it make up for it. Okay, sure.
You miss it תפילה, right? זה מלשון תשלומים. says the שולחן ערוך, צומות הללו, 17 בתמוז, חוץ מתשעה באב, מותרים ברחיצה, שיחה, to anoint yourself with oil, נעילת הסנדל, leather shoes, תשמיש המיטה. ואין צריך להפסיק בהם מבעוד יום. Unlike תשעה באב, that we start מבעוד יום, תזכור, כל התעניות האלו זה רק תעניות מדרבנן, כן? הוא לא מדבר עכשיו על יום כיפור, זה ודאי. כל 4 הצומות הללו עם חלוליות בשבת, נדחים בהיכל השבת. So there is a famous phrase in the Gemara, the Mishnah Berurah brings it. הקדומה פורענותא לא מקדימינא. למה לא נעשו ביום שישי? למה דוחים את זה ביום ראשון? הקדומה פורענותא לא מקדימינא. ואם חלו בערב שבת, 10 בטבת כנפול על ערב שבת, קוראים בשחרית ומנחה בהיכל, תשמע מה שהוא אומר עכשיו. ואם יש חופה ביום התענית בערב שבת לצד 10 בטבת, מתפללים מנחה, קוראים בהיכל, ואחר כך עושים את החופה. What do you do in the chuppah? The rabbi is making the bracha on the wine, you give it to a child. You give it to a child. But what is called, we spoke a million times, it's not, we spoke, everyone speaks about it. The ta'anit is a must. Nevertheless, if we are focusing only on the ta'anit, and we think only about the food, we miss the point. But I mean, see, the difficult part is, I'm giving you just an example. Part of the greatness of our religion is that there's a minimum that everyone more or less has to do. Then, if you want really to improve and to raise the bar, אתה מבין, זה שייך להלכות תפילה, זה שייך להלכות שבת, זה שייך להלכות תלמוד תורה, זה שייך להלכות צדקה. אתה מבין? We have a new member in the Sackett Lake, a very nice guy. His name is a doctor. His name is Dr. Friedman, Jerry Friedman. He's a surgeon, a dental surgeon. Very nice guy. He and his wife invited me for Shabbat, about 15, 18 ladies, like type of conservative type. They would like to come and have an experience, Shabbat experience. She told my wife that, okay, a rabbi told them, even though they're really causing Chilul Shabbat because those people are going to drive from Great Neck or whatever. But, okay, this is, we're not going to do this. No, I'm the rabbi inside the Lake, so she wants me to come after the meal on the afternoon to speak to the ladies. I said, I'm not going to speak. I'm going to have a Q&A. I don't know what they want to know. Yes, I mean, this is people that like to have a better understanding of Judaism. So I hope I'll give a 2-minute introduction. But the point is, what is the dilemma, Larry, that I have in an afternoon like this?
Well, number one,
There you go. Good.
One that you're validating this, you're validating
That's anybody.
the whole process. But participating in, you're validating it. If you, I mean,
the baya that I have always in this type of meetings is I have to give them an answer that will satisfy what they want, even though the answer is not always the perfect answer. You understand? It's not the real answer. It's not a shekel. I cannot lie. But there are certain things that I'll give you a very interesting example. Many years ago in a seminar, a lady at the table, she was like a conservative type. She has a nephew, he lives in Mel Israel in Baltimore, and he's not coming for Shabbat unless there are gefilte fish Friday night. Okay, you know, this is בעברית אומרים זה שיגעונות של teenagers, yeah, okay? That's fine. So she says to me, Rabbi Frank, what is the point of gefilte fish, on Friday night? What would you answer? I remember, I don't know if the woman is Orthodox, conservative.
Sorry.
She's a nice lady. She wants to know Nico, what would you answer? What's the point of having
fish on Shabbat? אוכל דג ביום דג. תציל מדג.
I mean, here I am talking to a very intelligent woman, and I tell her what you said. She says, this is the face of Judaism. אוכל דג ביום דג. You have to answer to a person. He can walk home and say, "Whoa, I understand you." Know?
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then gefilte fish is fish that's grind.
Forget gefilte fish now.
Fish.
Because it's basar b'dagim b'chol matanim.
Oh, now we're talking. So he says, in a simple way, you make a party, you make a wedding. So you serve very, delicious food. But why fish? Now remember that, okay, first of all, I was much younger. Today I would, it's different, but my first answer was, I'm laughing at myself, of course. Say like this, please listen carefully. Fish are the only creatures that are still around the same way they used to be before the flood. The only creatures that were not affected by the flood were the fish. Because it says in the Chumash, Kol asher becharaba meitu. Charaba is yabasha. So on Shabbat, which is Me'ein Olam Haba, we would like to connect with the wound that was healed a long time ago.
Rabbi Prague, Shalashudas happened. This sounds like a little. You could also say it's in like Vayechi, Vayidgula Rov Bakera Erev Haaretz. That the people of Israel. I mean,
anyway, she looks at me like I just came from the moon. Okay, I realize.
He thinks you're from outer space, Rabbi. Exactly.
Man said, "Dag b'yom dag."
It was simple.
Try number two. Since eating fish or meat shows that this is an important meal, and normally if you eat fish, you run into a problem of borer, yes?
Right.
So now you can use the word you said before, you filter fish. She looks at me, Mata Balbel Tamosh. But I saw on her face that, anyway, listen, finally I realized who I'm talking to. I said, listen, can you celebrate Christmas without a Christmas tree? Oh, this is a question. Is this part of the dinim of Christmas or it's part of the decoration of Christmas? Even if you don't have the Christmas tree, you can still celebrate Christmas. But
no, by the way, Rabbi Prague, you're wrong because the Christmas tree is a matir for the whole Chag.
Well, why is that?
I'm joking.
No, I'm not. I know why is it a matir?
On the material
Because if you don't have the tree and you
Uh-huh.
didn't decorate the tree, you can't have a yontif.
Uh-huh. So to go to Larry's point, the original Christmas tree was an Asherah tree. The Asherah cult didn't want to join into the whole
Christianity.
this
Right.
whole holiday. Forget Christianity. It was all it used to be. I forgot. Rabbi Kellerman has a whole.
A pagan holiday. That's what
It used to be a
Jewish-
pagan holiday, and the Christians moved Jesus, his birthday to this day to get popularity. And there's this whole cult that didn't want to join, the Asherah cult, and they said, "Okay, you can put the tree in. You can put it in part of your house."
This is real, Salim, yeah?
Yeah,
100%. You
that's
have to
what
listen
it
to a video. Rabbi, I think Max Kellerman. I forgot his name. Something Kellerman. Rabbi Kellerman
Very
put a
nice.
whole video about the history. He said this is one of the worst days for Jews in the history of all days.
No, okay. Anyway, here, she's not. You can really celebrate Christmas without a tree, but this is part of the flavor of the day, you know. So I told her, always give her the food. Finished. I answered the question, how she understand, Baruch Hashem. What did she understand? Nothing. The answer is, on her level, she says, you know, you associate, Salim, how would you associate Shabbat meal by your parents or by your wife?
How come? I thought the answer was good, but
because you understand.
No.
You understand the concept.
No. Even if I didn't understand, I was
understand
completely not
anything.
Jewish.
The real answer, of course,
Every single animal died during the flood, but the
of
fish did not.
course, this is the real answer, yes?
No, I know, but why is that so complicated to understand?
No, because it's not in her computer. She doesn't think on holidays and mitzvot.
There's many movies about Noah's flood. Did she not know that everything died?
Maybe not about the whole pasuk. I don't.
Salim,
How come?
If I explained it to a completely irreligious person,
they wouldn't understand.
I think they would. Everyone knows what the flood is.
She's not intelligent like you.
Nothing to do with intelligence. You watch a movie.
Salim, most of, I'm telling you, and I'm saying it again and again. It's not to us, it's to
I thought the Sfardim don't eat gefilte fish.
Everyone
don't eat fish.
Everyone that is asking you a question.
No, not us.
Question, Salim, everyone that is asking you a question, the question comes from a certain standing point of view that he is coming from. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer you give is an answer that can sit with him. You can take it away on his level.
You know, another way to do it, Rabbi Prague, is to say, well, if you put chicken soup on the same level of gefilte fish, someone would really look at you and say, you know, this past Shabbos of July 4th was 150 degrees Friday night, and my mother was going to have that chicken, may she rest in peace, was going to have the chicken soup. Did she have a reason? She didn't have a cold. It was already ingrained in her culture, from her mother to this. This is what we do. I don't think, maybe I'm, well,
Larry, it's not fair. 4/6 of the people on this call cannot relate to gefilte fish.
You know, I know that. I can't.
Listen, we have rice and hamod, rice and bazela, rice and fasulia. That's what we have. We don't. Sorry.
That would be harder to explain for Rabbi Prague.
Last Friday night, I had how many adults, like 6 adults around the table. Okay, I make kiddush, make hamotzi, of course, eat the salmon or the filter fish. Fine, okay. Then my wife says, "Who isn't good enough? Who wants hot soup?" Last Friday night, can you imagine? One grandson says, "Bobby, I would like." So 7 people around the table. My wife says, "Okay, so I told her, but you have only one hand up, yes?" He says, people are hungry. They're very good. Very good meat, very good chicken. Answer is she grew up with every Friday night.
Right.
Her father from Poland. Hot soup is being served as a second cousin. Baruch Hashem, that last Friday night, she did not serve it, and all the side dishes and all the meat was finished. I told my wife, how come? The answer is if you fill yourself with the soup, there's no room for the corned beef and for French rolls. If you are, but the answer is, this is it. This is the way she moved. So,
Right. So, Rabbi, going back to what you were saying, trying to explain to somebody. A few years ago, I had somebody at the Seder, right? And I'm explaining, what happened, etc., etc. And her answer was, but in the movies, it wasn't that way.
this is it. Okay, this is the point.
I'm trying to explain to her. I said, read the book. It's more interesting than the movie.
1 year in Flatbush, a kid comes on a Monday, Rabbi, it happened. What happened? He saw the movie, The Ten Commandments, and the movie assured him that what Rabbi Besser was teaching him in Chumash, Parashat Yitro, is a man, Baruch Hashem, that Hollywood. Hashem,
you can't make this stuff up, Rabbi.
this you can never make up. He comes excited to the class, Here you teach that the brother, no guy, so the
Well, it's then no different than someone comes in and he says that Perry Mason, Isaiah Kluger mensch. They said Perry Mason was such a smart person. Okay, shame,
Okay. And now, so we understand the difference between Tisha B'Av. Okay. Now listen carefully to a Sephardic custom that we don't have. Look at Sif Dalet. This is 550 Shulchan Aruch Orach Hayim. The Shabbat Kodem Latzom, we don't have it. Machriz Shaliach Tzibur Hayobet Atzom Chutz Mitisha B'Av Atzom Kippur. In the Sephardic community, the Shabbat before, the Rabbi Odeh Chazal on Shabbat have to say, ביום שלישי 10 בטבת, סדר רמה ומנהג האשכנזים שלא להכריז שום אחד מהם. I never looked into it why, but it's fascinating, yes. What is it based on? Now, of course, it's based, of course, but אתה מזכיר את זה בשבת, אתה קצת מצער את האנשים. And now tonight is Rosh Chodesh Av. For the Sfaradim, tomorrow till Shabbat, it's the same as from Shiva Asar B'Tammuz till today. By the Sfaradim, all the restrictions, the serious restrictions, are basically from next Sunday. It's called Shavua Shecharbe. By the Ashkenazim, all the restrictions of not eating meat here tonight, tonight. I came home and I realized, okay, I ran and I took 2 or 3 shirts into the washer.
Right.
This is it.
Isn't it start next week?
Salim, I just told you, Sfaradim, it's Shavua Shechalbo.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Here, my wife bought last night a delicious chicken dinner. I told her before sunset, make sure you finish it, otherwise it goes to the garbage tonight. Most of the garbage means because you're not going to leave it. This is it.
Right.
So we are not tomorrow.
Wait, but you guys don't eat meat on Rosh Chodesh?
No. I asked all the restrictions start
tonight.
Which means that, of course, here, I'm very sweating today because I did this, or whatever I did. So I'm not going to take a regular shower. I'm going to clean myself. Everything starts tonight. By Sfaradim, it's Shavua Shechalbo, yes.
You could take a cold shower, Rabbi.
I know. But what I really do is, You are adult, but ask kids, how long do you stand under the shower? Tell him, on a regular day, you go in
5 minutes,
5 minutes.
4 minutes.
See, Larry, this is a young man. He has only, Baruch Hashem, 2 kids, third to be born. You have time. People in a rush. Yeah? It's 90 seconds. This is it. You have to be clean. Yes. Tell him
Wait.
the water.
You have to tell him, Rabbi, you have to tell him when you get old, your bones hurt you more. So you need to sit in the shower longer. That's really the reason. I want to tell you, so we're building the house, and the only thing I asked my wife for, I didn't have any decision. I told her I want a steam room in my shower.
Very
And
important.
I want the spray shower. I want it to jet stream, so I have aches and pains. So the interior decorator, the contractor, my consultant all asked, "Why do you need that?" I said, "It's the only thing that I asked for in the house, and everybody wants me to cut it out."
The chutzpah that they have, you understand why? Because the answer is it's my house.
Right. That's what I told him. I'm paying. That's what I said.
What?
Salim, don't laugh. This is life, Salim. You understand?
That is the one thing I'm gonna hopefully have that, and I want to build a mikveh.
Okay. No.
Those are 2 things I want.
Salim,
Steam
today,
room and a mikveh.
Salim, the real fancy people in the Ashkenaz community are building a private mikveh in the house.
Yeah, I mean it's not so hard. It's not a lot of money. You're building already, spending God knows how much.
$1,000, but it's a very
I know, to have a working mikveh in your house anytime you need it. It's very, very cool.
It's not only for your wife. It's Hasidim go to the mikveh at least once a week, Friday afternoon. Yes.
Yeah.
Now listen to the Shulchan Aruch. משנכנס אב ממעטים בשמחה. מה זה ממעטים? There are certain restrictions on Bar Israel, the Itlei Dina Behad Elohim. You have a court case with a Gentile, Nishtamit, Mina, Ria Mazlei. This is a Gemara, right? This is not, it's a Mishnah. Don't go to court to a non-Jew because your likelihood to win the case is much less on the 9 days. This is a Mishnah. Yeah. Look a second. Mishnah ברורה, להשתמית מיני, עד ראש חודש אלול. על כל פנים, no one does it till ראש חודש אלול. ועל כל פנים, עד אחרי תשעה באב. Of course you know that on ראש חודש אדר is the exact opposite. משנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה, and the next halacha is that if you can have your court case on Chodesh Adar, do it then. To us it sounds funny, but this is the reality. The reality is, Chodesh Azeh זה לא סימן טוב ליהודים. Says Rama, listen to this, מילה שהיא בראש חודש עד תשעה באב, או שמים ביו מילה, ברית מילה next week, נוהגים שהמוהל הוא בעל הברית, the מוהל, and the man who, the sandak, the man who is holding the baby, ואבי הבן, 3 people לובשים בגדי שבת. Any ברית מילה that takes place tomorrow, the moel, the father, and the sandak are wearing Shabbat clothes.
On tomorrow or Tish?
No, from tomorrow till...
till tomorrow Tishba.
הוא אומר, מילה שהיא מראש חודש עד תשעה באב, the 9 days. נוהגים שהמוהל בעל הברית ואבי הבן, לובשים בגדי שבת. Okay, of course the Mishnah Berurah is very nice, and he says the lady who brings in the baby should also be dressed nice.
But why is it? What's the reason for that?
What's the reason that mutar or asur?
No, what's the reason that for these days that he makes a specific point that the man should be dressed up and that, I mean,
yeah, it says תמיד צריכים להראות את החשיבות שיש למצווה, כן?
But why specifically now? It should be like that mitzvah. You should have it all the time.
I have news for you. In every Brit Milah, everyone is dressed. לכבוד Shabbat. I mean, all the relatives. Not by Hasidim. If you have a Brit Milah, they come like Shabbat, they come with the fair heads, they come with it. Of course you're right, of course you're right. עכשיו תשמע מה שהוא אומר דבר ש-accept in ירושלים, when I was a kid, I saw it, I don't see it anymore, אבל בלאו הכי אסור, אפילו בשבת של חזון, can you imagine? According to the Rama in Europe, the Ashkenazim, even the upcoming Shabbat, the only thing you wear is a shirt. Yes. Al tilbash. Okay, so we today, everyone is wearing a Shabbat suit. According to the Rama, the fact that you are wearing a special, let's say today, a tie and a shirt is enough. אף אחד לא עושה את זה, yeah? Okay, so, you see, if you look at משנה ברורה או בקהילת קודש וילנה, על פי הגר"א נוהגים ללבוש בגדי שבת. ויש משנים בגד אחד. Believe it or not, when I was a kid, okay, but this is a totally different community. People used to have special suits. for Shabbat, Tisha B'Av, כן? כמו שהיה להם a special garment for חול המועד, Shabbat is Shabbat. Yom Tov, you have to be dressed better than Shabbat. Chol HaMoed is in between. So, היו אנשים שבשבת זאת היה להם כמו an old Shabbat suit. You see it's Shabbat, but no one is doing it because it's meaningless to us. For the same reason that if you buy a new suit, you wouldn't say Shechianu today because it doesn't mean too much. But in the older times, the way you're dressed is a statement about you, about the time you are. Right down the block, I live here at 54, down the block, many, many years, I was a Holocaust survivor, Rav Chashuv, important rabbi. He writes in his first book, he published 4 books, he writes like this, that for a year and a half he was hiding. He didn't have anything to wear except an undershirt and underpants. He says, I'll never forget the American soldier who gave me a pair of pants and a shirt, and he gave me my dignity back. I mean, when I read it, I had tears in my eyes. I had to see the man, a tall, impressive man. For a year and a half, he was hiding somewhere. Says, American soldier saw him, he says, here, the way we are dressed is a statement. You come to a wedding, you dress in a certain way. Leavdil, you go to Chas v'Shalom, to a funeral, you dress in a certain way. You go to a party, you go to a ball game. You know that many years ago, the only thing I know, the reason I know it, I saw it in movies, not in real movies. If you went to a baseball, you had to wear a suit and a hat. President Kennedy is only the first one that took off his hat. You had to appear as a dignified man. You went to boxing, you went with a suit.
You used to go to the theater, you go to the opera, people wore suits.
Of course. Being dressed in a certain way is a statement about you, about the timing. Did you ever ask yourself how come musicians in real classical concerts are dressed in a certain way? Yes, it's a statement. It didn't change for 200 years. It says that even on Shabbat. Yes. Okay, it's Leinu Ayom. Now look now in Seif Bet. Here, Salim, this does apply to you too. Rosh Chodesh tonight. עד התענית ממעטים ומשא ומתן. What does it mean? You shouldn't go to work tomorrow. I mean, in practicality, so look at the משנה ברורה, יש מן הפוסקים, דהיינו שלא יישא במשא ומתן של שמחה, כגון לקנות כלי כסף או צורכי חופה. אבל סתם משא ומתן, אין צריך למעט. If you go to work every day, ויש לסביראות לכל משא ומתן צריך למעט בעת הזאת. Okay, into this.
I hold by that.
I ran today. My grandson got for his bar mitzvah a small shas, but very small. I called the guy. The guy says, I can change it for a bigger size, but of course you have to pay more. I ran today, I got it. Then I bought myself 2 books this way for the next 9 days. I have something new to read. I'm fascinated. One of the books is an interview about 8 people that survived the Holocaust, but came from Europe, the religious Europe, and everyone talks about his environment where he grew up. And it's fascinating. I mean, I read it once, and most likely I had it, but I forgot it. Okay, תשמע עכשיו. מראש חודש עד התענית ממעטים במשא ומתן. Okay, that's the apply too much to us. In my neighborhood in Shar Chesed for Rosh Chodesh, the grocery store was open less hours, not half a day, but less. ובבניין של שמחה כגון בית חתנות לבנו. ובנסיעה של שמחה. This is not the time to go on vacation. Yes, if someone is building a special house for his son, shouldn't do it. The real question that every year all real rabbis are being asked, let's say if your community is building a shul, should they start for a week? So everyone agrees it's not a binyan shel simcha or binyan shel mitzvah. But if someone has a place to live and he is really expanding his house and obviously is making it bigger and fancier, this is what he's talking. Yes. Here in the Shulchan Aruch, ein osim nashim, ein osim seudat eirusim. You know what seudat eirusim means here?
Engagement plan.
Seudat eirusim in the time of the Gemara means if you present a woman with a ring in front of 2 witnesses, but you're not fully married. But theoretically speaking, today, a man wants to get engaged next week. He's allowed to do it. Because engagement in today's day and age does not have any halachic significance. You realize? It doesn't have any halachic significance.
But it's still simcha, though. It's
a simcha because you make it into simcha. It's a man-made.
No, I know. We don't halachically treat it as, but it is the same technical thing.
Today's day and age, people make such a big fuss about it. It becomes a simcha.
No, but I'm saying is that the spirit of the whole Mima'atim Simcha is because you want to decrease these kind of events. But this event is exactly that. It is Simcha. You may not think it's a real, you may not, the halachically it's not a real engagement, but it's still then considered as real as anything else.
Now here, the next halacha applies only to Sfaradim. שבוע שחל בו תשעה באב, this year from Sunday, אסורים לספר, you don't take haircuts already from before. Even though according to Shulchan Aruch, you can take him this week. ולכבס, this is it. No more laundry, except if you have young kids. אפילו אינו רוצה ללבשו עתה, אלא להניחו לאחר תשעה באב. I have 2 pairs of pants that I should have given to the laundromat today. I didn't. It says Shulchan Aruch, even don't give it tomorrow, even if you are going to pick it after the Shabbat. וכן המכובסים מקודם, בין ללבוש בין להציע מותר. See, this is a big. Imagine if you have a summer camp and you have 180 kids. You cannot tell the kids don't change daily. Everyone agrees that your underwear mutar. What do you do with your shirts? What do you do with your pants? So some of the big camps, they tell the kids today, Tuesday, go and every hour change into another shirt. This way your shirt is, so to say, used shirt. not a new shirt, yes? This is a, okay, but if you read black and white, what it says is, you cannot wear in the 9 days for Ashkenazim or Shavua Shechavo something that looks like it came out in the monument. Some say that even cutting the nails would be assumed this Erev Shabbat. Yeah, see, this is another thing I forgot. I wanted to do it today, I forgot. So I'll probably have to do it, part of it, and then I'm sure on Friday, not
Rabbi, so what if you had something altered? Can you pick it up? Or you're not wearing it, but you're just picking it up from the dressmaker.
If you are not going to wear it, then you can pick it, yes.
You can pick it.
Especially today, because if you leave it too long, it might get.
Yeah, they might sell it.
But the main idea is, I'm telling you again, people are very strict about everything we spoke. But the idea is to be nicer to your neighbor, to be nicer to someone in the subway. I have to tell you a fascinating story I read, where was it? Sunday. I read a few years ago, Sunday. In Bnei Brak, famous, very good speaker. He knows what to say, he knows how to say it. He's a sincere man. His name is Rabbi Toisi. He writes in his book, I'm going to tell you something, and I never say anything about myself, but I have to tell you that. It says, every Tisha B'Av in most of the Ashkenazi yeshivot or real schools, they have a big gathering for an hour and a half. Rabbi and other people are speaking about Ben Adam v'Chavuro. So the rabbi says, I really gave a very warm speech, how Hashem cannot take the fact that we, his children, are fighting. It says what the father hates the most is when kids fight among themselves. But you know, he is a good speaker, and he basically said every time we have an argument between ourselves, we're making Hashem unhappy. We are children of Hashem. Listen to this. He says that after our beat, which means, the Tisha B'Av is over, as he's walking from Shul home, a man comes to him and he says, Rabbi, I was attending your lecture last night and it really shook me up and I couldn't fall asleep. Why? I have a man in my building. We had a normal, maybe not normal arguments. He wanted to extend, and I said, you have to pay me. We didn't speak to each other for 8 years. And when we went to Adin Torah, and he did expand, he had to give me $20,000. Meantime, for 8 years, and he says, after his speech, I'm saying to myself, how do I go to sleep now? Hashem is definitely unhappy with me. Says the next morning with him, before I went to shul, I heard that my neighbor is up. I knock on his door, and I said, listen, I listened to the speech last night, and I'm coming to ask you forgiveness. Let's be friends as he used to. Forget about the money. And he shakes my hand and he says to me, but I was there also. And I really decided to come to ask you forgiveness. Let's forget about it. They have each other. Huh? Tells the rabbi. A week later, he tells the rabbi that as Motzai Tisha B'Av, the neighbor and his wife came in with an envelope of $5,000. And they said, it's very nice that you said that you forgive us, but we cannot accept it. Here is $5,000 as a down payment. The guy wanted them to feel good. He says, okay, I'm accepting the 5, forget about the 15. This is This is what Tisha B'Av is about. Tisha B'Av is if we really believe, and believe me, each one of us very often, has, and believe me, there are plenty of people that met are nasty, not nice. And here and there, we live here in a crowded block. Baruch Hashem, young couples are moving and this, that. And sometimes people block part of the driveway. Miko, what should we do, Miko?
You know, if you tell me maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I would put flat tires. But I've grown up since. I just, you know what? They're going to a wedding. I said, you know what? Let them be 5 minutes more, 5 minutes. I can't sit and be a policeman for my drive.
My wife, as a teenager, had a friend that she was number 10. All the boys were after her. They lived down the block. The father served in the Marines. Listen, once a boy comes to the house to take her out on a date. He comes out, so there's a flat tire. So it's like, what happened? Anyway, the boy changes the tire. Fine. He comes the next week. He said,
another flat tire?
Same flat tire. Of course, he didn't realize he blocked the driveway. And the father is a graduate of the Marines. You block my driveway.
Doesn't matter who you are, right?
Anyway, you realize how embarrassed the girl was, because when he came into the house, he said, what's going on here? The father said, I did it.
Can't make it up.
Anyway, and very often I feel, because I realize which car, people have a big family, it's a big SUV. And on Tuesday, you cannot park on one side. Then sometimes we leave a note, please be aware not to. What I felt at the moment, this is what life is about. I mean, what would I gain if I take out the tire to be there? First of all, I don't know how to do it, but
no, I was thinking something else. God forbid he needs the car for an emergency or something else. I look at it in a different way. I said, you know what? You never know what the future holds. So maybe he did it. Okay, I forgive him. Whatever, let it be.
These 9 days is exactly intended to remind us what these two people did.
Oh yeah, you did.
Well, the greatest thing is about it. The next 9 days there are no weddings in Sharet Zion, so nobody's blocking my driveway, Rabbi.
So,
There's no
Rabbi,
weddings all summer, Mishu.
That's also true.
so Rabbi,
Yeah.
you have to hit. So I bought an house. I was selling. So I sell my current house. So, while we were selling it, so a young couple comes with their uncle, and the uncle's helping them to buy the house. So he's looking at the house, whatever. And I knew the uncle. I had learned with him many years ago in class. So anyway, he says he comes over to me, whispers to me after the couple sees the house, they like it, whatever. He goes, "You remember 20 years ago when we learned together? I just came to this country and didn't know the law, this and that. I kept asking you questions. You kept answering them. And then you said, here's my telephone number. Call me. If you ever have an issue, don't worry. I'm not going to bill you." He remembered 20 years later, he came to me and told me that. And he wound up actually buying that, going to contract with me on the house for his niece and nephew. But imagine 20 years later, he remembered.
This is exactly what the 9 days are for. Guys, we live in a normal world, yes. And every so often, guys, people are on the edge. You got up late. You have a pressure on your head. Yeah? You have no patience. You didn't sleep good. This is what Tisha B'Av is about. I have to show you. I have it in my pocket. 2 weeks ago, my wife reads every week the Mishpacha magazine. Listen, there was a page. Listen to the page. The page starts like this. My name is so-and-so. I live, and he gives the address of his house. He says a few weeks ago, I forgot, maybe a few months ago, I picked up my son from school and my wife screams because he's come home immediately. I'm running home here. My best friend from Hatzalah killed my daughter. He ran on Hatzalah call. Here her body is on the floor. He's my best friend. And he looks at me and I look at him and I'm looking at the floor. And he writes it in the, anyway, he says the next day was the funeral. And in the funeral I said, I'm forgiving him because he's my best friend and we're going to remain the best friends. In the funeral, they hugged each other. And I forget now the guilt of a friend, obviously, all this and all this. Why is he publishing it? He says, I made an organization to commemorate my daughters. People that are looking for ways to forgive others, but they feel uncomfortable. We have professionals that they can talk to and to learn. But you see, here is a classic example. Can you imagine the best friend? And he says in the article, he says, I called him for Hatzalah a few times when I needed him. Here he is, out of my house, and my daughter is on the floor. The answer is it takes a very, very big heart to realize she is not alive anymore. And there's no doubt in anyone's mind he didn't do it on purpose. And to hold a grudge against him doesn't help you. On the contrary, writes in the article is really an advertisement that he paid for. He writes, I never felt as great as when I was forgiving him. I think that this Shabbat is something like I might read it in public. But this reminded me, you hear? Approximately 15 years ago, I'm finishing in 2 minutes. 15 years ago, a fellow came, an Israeli soldier who was basically paralyzed by friendly fire. He went into Gaza, they knew that he was a terrorist, they are commander unit, and accidentally, one of the soldiers started to fire and he basically paralyzed him. And he talks to the kids, and he says the most difficult part was when my friend came to the hospital to ask me to forgive. He says in the beginning when he walked in, my blood pressure went up. Look, you ruined my life forever. Then, remember, he's a man of character. He says, I told him, I know it's not your fault. I forgive you, and we cried into each other. He says, I never felt greater than that moment. Yes? This is the greatness of a Jewish soul. This is it. What I remember him mainly is, on me, made a tremendous impression. He says, I was in a commando. I had a beautiful girlfriend. And she has befriended me. I'm in a commando. And I said, well, and here I am, paralyzed for life. Well, I mean, we saw him already. He was playing basketball, but he's paralyzed. He says, she comes to visit me, and I told her, listen, honey, you have the right to break our relationship. I am here. He said, she told me, do you think I befriended you because I wanted a soldier in the commando? I befriended you because of your personality. We are sticking for life. He said, and he שמעתי את זה מהפה שלו, and he says, we have 2 children. Show me the picture. There are great people there are great moments, but this is what Tisha B'Av is about. We have to dig into ourselves. One of the ways to overcome it is to realize that there is a ways over each one of us. And things are happening. Have a Chodesh Tov, and let's hope that the week and next week, but let's think about it. Or at least tomorrow morning in shul or whatever, to raise the bar. This is what Hashem wants from us. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you,
Thank
Rabbi.
you, Rabbi. Good night, everyone.
Chicago.
Tov, Chodesh Tov. Thank you.
Others tough.